today. My name's Des Dreckett and I'm going to basically do a quick presentation today. I'm basically going to live stream this to multiple different platforms. So this is a bit of a test for me. And I just want to share my journey of what has gone on in my life since 2025, since June 2025. So hopefully I can share my screen, and with any luck, let's have a look here. I should be able to share my screen because I've got a fancy presentation to show you. Okay, so here's my presentation. So we're talking about the micro community blueprint. So back in 2025, June 2025, I handed in my notice and my job, and I wanted to go all in on YouTube. And at the time, Skool wasn't even a thing for me in my thought process. Skool is basically a community where you can actually grow your own community, but it wasn't on my radar. YouTube was on my radar. And one of the reasons why it was on my radar is because I monetized my first channel that made some decent money, I suppose, which was called the Electric Oracle. Now, I don't post on here as much as I used to. I wish I did, but I don't. But I managed to monetize this in about 4 weeks. And I thought, ooh, do you know what? I've been trying to actually make money online for so long. This might be the way. This might be the thing I can do to actually make money. But if any of you know that have a YouTube channel, you know that the AdSense money, when you start getting views on your videos, you have to consistently get thousands and thousands of views on your video to actually earn any decent money. And I'll be honest with you, I wasn't getting thousands of views on every video. Well, sometimes videos did really well, got thousands of views, and other times they got a few hundred views. So listen, the money wasn't consistent, and it wasn't something I could actually rely on to kind of feed my family. So that, even though I monetized in 4 weeks and yeah, money started to come in after about a month, it was great, but not money we could actually rely on and to live on. So I had to make a change. So even though I've got the Electric Oracle methodology on here, it is really about my own channel and also combine it with Skool. Okay, so we're going to come to Skool in a little while. So back in June, like I just said, I left my job back in June 2025, and all was going good. I was, creating content. I was trying to produce as many videos as I could, and I was still struggling. I was relying on my savings, and I just wanted to prove to myself that I could actually do this, all right? People relying on me for this to work, so there was a lot of pressure on my shoulders, all right? How many of us are trying to create content? How many of us are trying to be content creators and actually make a living out of this? So many of us are trying to do this, and many of us fail, okay? And I was failing badly, I'm not gonna lie. This is not some story of me telling you how bad things were going. They were going bad, but things started getting good. So back in, it says full-time income achieved in August 2025. That's actually not entirely true. It probably happened about September, October time, but I'll go into a little bit more of how that actually happened, all right? Because it was mainly from my own channel, which is this one here, which is obviously my name, a very tiny channel, but I'm gonna show you that you don't need a lot of views in order to make this work, all right? You don't need a lot of views on your videos as a content creator to make this work. You can do it with very few views as long as you have a back end, and my back end was something called Skool, but we'll go into that in a little while. So yeah, I'll just mention here that I did it in under 4 weeks on the Electric Oracle. Yeah, a little bit of luck, a little bit of hard work, but I had failed many times before I monetized that channel. So let me look at the monetization traffic. Let's have a look at the old way. So most of us are thinking that we have to chase millions of views in order to actually make some decent money as a content creator, and especially on YouTube. And all of us, or not all of us, but the vast majority of people that start a YouTube channel think they can actually make a living with AdSense, which is, AdSense is as soon as a ad shows on your video, okay, Google will share the income of whatever the advertiser is paying you. That's going to vary, that's going to differ between different YouTube channels, but that's what most content creators are thinking they can actually rely on to actually make a living. And I can tell you something for now, there are not many content creators making a living living off the AdSense earnings on the YouTube channel, okay? They may have a good month this month, and the next month is a crappy month, all right? They may have 3 or 4 videos that just blow up, and then the next one, or the next 2 or 3, they don't blow up. So it's not something you can rely on. You need a back end, and that's why it's so important to have a back end towards your YouTube channel, okay? Also, as well, a lot of creators have burnout. A lot of people that want to become content creators are doing this in their spare time. I mean, I tell you what I was doing. I was getting up early in the morning. I was getting up at 4 o'clock in the morning. I was spending 2 hours creating content, editing maybe videos I'd recorded at the weekend, go to work, drive an hour to work, and then come back, have a meal with my family, and then I was back on it again. And I think a lot of you can probably see where I'm coming from and can probably resonate with that. I was doing that day in, day out. And seriously, if you continue to do that, yeah, you're going to burn out. And I was starting to burn out, I'm not going to lie. So now there's a new way, and obviously you can see the graphic here, there's a new way. The new way is to actually create YouTube videos, okay? But on the back end, you have what we call a Skool community. Now, Skool is a platform. This is my community here. This is the platform called Skool.com, and this particular community is my community here. And the fantastic thing is we just hit 500 members today, which is great. I digress though. This is a community that I have that we started back in June, July time. Okay, so it wasn't massively on my radar and I wasn't taking it too seriously. I could see that some people were making money with YouTube to Skool or just Skool on its own, but I didn't really believe that I could. So I was plowing everything I could do into YouTube, all right? But I had this, I don't know, a few things started going right. So the way in which you do this is you build trust on YouTube. You make videos that are one problem, one solution type videos, okay? These are based on the topic that you are actually specializing in on your YouTube channel. So you're basically answering questions of the demographic that people have problems. You're basically making videos to answer those problems, all right? So you're building trust when you do that, and you'll generally get found because the actual competition for those videos is tiny, okay? But what we love about taking people off to Skool, off YouTube into Skool, is you're kind of owning the audience data. And also, if you can make it work with Skool, you can get a recurring revenue, because sometimes if you have a free Skool, you can actually get them onto a product where you can actually get recurring revenue. Or you can have a paid Skool, and we're going to go into this in a little bit more detail. You can have a paid Skool where from day one, you start earning recurring revenue when people pay to actually learn what is in there, your knowledge, basically. So all I'm putting on here is it is possible to build a full-time income from a small YouTube audience if you change the mechanism of capture, all right? That sounds very dramatic, but that's pretty much what it is in a nutshell. So this is the ecosystem. It's using the Electric Oracle here, but it was really based on my own channel, really. The slide's wrong, if I'm going to be honest. It's based on my own channel. It's not really based on the Electric Oracle. The Electric Oracle kind of started things off and gave me the idea I could actually make money online, but it's mainly based on my own YouTube channel. So this is kind of a graphic to say that you're basically trying to get discovered when you make YouTube videos. You're making high value, free content that builds trust. That's the important thing, all right? You don't need thousands of views to get trust. You just need to help 1, 2, 100 people, okay, with a problem that they have, and they will trust you then, all right? Then you use what we call Skool, the Skool community that I've just showed you, as an incubator, all right? And you're capturing your audience from your YouTube channel, and you're telling them in your video that you have a Skool community. And in that Skool community is where you further nurture those members that are actually coming through your YouTube channel. Excuse me. And then if you know what you're doing and you kind of do things right, and I'm not going to try and teach you how to make money in this video or in this live stream, it is literally just showing you the model, how it works. So you bring people in with YouTube with the trust, because you're making videos where you're going to gain trust. Secondly, you're bringing them into a community when you actually tell your members or your viewers that you've actually got a Skool community. And then from there, that is when you monetize, all right? You're not relying on AdSense money anymore. You're not relying on that at all. You are the person that is actually showing them and nurturing them. I'm just going to see if I've got a different graphic I can bring up here on the screen, the layout. Let me see if I can do this a little bit different. Aha, here we go. That's a bit better, isn't it? Right. There's a couple of ones here. Let me just test this out. No, we'll leave it on that one. Right, okay. So YouTube brings them in, okay? Brings people into your world. You make videos and you bring people into your world by basically solving their problems. And then Skool keeps them there. So you're telling people that you have a Skool community, and that's where you actually keep your members, the people that come from Skool. And the goal is to move viewers from a public square to a private room. And that's kind of what this is here, this community here. That's basically what that is, okay? Go to the next slide. So I think I've already covered this as well. So you're using YouTube as a discovery engine, all right? So you're problem solving over trends. So you're finding out what is the most, you're finding out the pain points of your audience. What pain are they in, and what problems can I actually solve? That's kind of what you're doing with your YouTube channel. You're not only making those videos, but I'd say the bulk of your videos are one problem, one solution videos, and then you can maybe throw in up a podcast or maybe an interview here and there, but the main bulk of your videos need to be one problem, one solution, all right? You don't need to get any more detail than that. Again, I've got the Electric Oracle here. It's mainly my own channel that focuses on high value, free educational content. We do not chase entertainment trends. We are just solving problems with our YouTube channel, okay? Like my little funky little graphic there. So the call to action, this is the important thing. This is what a lot of creators forget. You need to have a call to action. And if you don't know what call to action is, a call to action is you telling somebody or telling your viewer to do something in the video, all right? Normally what happens is content creators will make videos, they're concentrating on the script and they're trying to design the thumbnail. And the one thing they forget, and it's probably one of the most important things in your content creation process, is a call to action. The call to action is normally download my free X, fill in that blank basically, or what we're starting to do a lot more now is join our free Skool community or join our community. That is the lead magnet now. That's our call to action. But it's really important that you say that in the video, okay? It's really important that you say it in the video, and it's really important that you have a link to your Skool community in your video, okay? Well, in your description of your video. That's what's really important. And again, a lot of creators forget about this. So you direct viewers immediately to your community. Don't just ask for a subscription, offer a destination. So that link needs to be in your description, and in your video, you tell them that you have a community, that you've just watched a video, you're really happy with that. And if you are happy with that, then the link is in the description. We have a great community. And this is what I do. I basically drive people to my community here, okay? And what happens is when they come to this community, when they come to this page, should I say, because this is the page that we link to, the only thing they can do on this page, there's nothing else they can do. They can read the little bit of description I've got here. They can go through the testimonials that I have here. They can maybe watch a few videos of testimonials of people that have been happy with the service or happy with the community. But, and this is the important thing, they can only do one thing. And the one thing they can do is join the group, it says there, but join the community. Now, you might want to send people to your website, for example. You may even want to send them to a landing page so you can click their name and email address. Well, there's a news flash, okay? This does it all. This community does everything. As soon as you send them to this community, they join that group, you have then automatically got their email anyway, because Skool collects it. They can't join Skool, and they can't join your community unless there's an email, okay? They have to, if they're not a member of Skool, they have to give their email address in order to register for Skool. And that means then it's in our system, it's in the Skool system. So I always will have access to their email, and it's an email they have to use in order to actually get access to the Skool system. So they're not gonna give a dummy or a fake email address. That's the beauty about this. Now, before we were sending them to a lead magnet, now we're sending them directly to Skool. Anyway, I've digressed a little bit on there. So what's really great about this as a content creator is it doesn't cost much money to get started. I've got a webcam here, what I'm talking to now, but you can basically, where's my phone? You can basically just use one of these. That's all it takes is one of these. Obviously, I've got a little bit of lighting in here in my office, home office, but you don't need all what I have here. You can just get started with one of these and it's free. I'm thinking most of you have got one of these, all right? You can get started. You can probably get yourself a little tripod, just put it up and just start making videos. Obviously, I'm simplifying it a little bit, but in essence, you can get started for free now. You don't need to buy big fancy equipment. You don't need to get a big warehouse. You don't need to have a shop unit. You don't have to buy stock to try and build up your inventory to try and sell to customers. No. All you need to do is just create a YouTube channel and start creating videos. And you can do it with just one of those. You can do it in an office like this, home office, or if you don't have one of these, you just go outside and make your video. Or in even a quiet space in your house, you can make any sort of video that you want, okay? And that's pretty much what I did when I first started. So, you use it to find the people who need you, not just people who want to watch you. And that's basically what I did. That's my journey. That's what I was doing. So the value bridge, so what you've got is you've got ownership. So why a free community? A free community it means then if I charge now, okay, I haven't got a lot of traffic going in through my YouTube channel. But if I started charging here, there's a lot of friction, and that I'd say probably out of 100 people that probably came to this page or come to this page, very few of them will sign up because they either don't know me or they haven't watched enough videos. It's much better to have a free community like this. And if anything, let me see if I can quickly go into the community just to show you. Let me go into the community, go into community just here. Okay, so this is the community here, and this is kind of the back end of what you see from the About page. So as the people come into the community, as you can see, there's lots of posts that I've written, and this is what it looks like. This is what the community looks like. I write posts, and as you can see, when somebody likes something, you can see a like there, and if they comment, you can see there. It's a very active community, and that is what I do. I nurture people. I give them really great content, and then sometimes they want something from me. They want either more of my time, or they may even purchase the digital products, but that's kind of the process of it all. So let's go back to this. And then what you're doing is you're bringing in so many people. What you're doing is you're identifying, it says true fans. I'm not a massive fan of that word. You're probably trying to identify people that you think would actually be able to spend money within your community. And that's what you do when they're coming through the door. But all you're doing really, the actual community is based on you just demonstrating, you know a lot about your topic, okay? And you're willing to teach them for nothing, for free. Every time in the morning, I'll post something for free, trying to teach and educate, and maybe something a little fun as well, but that's kind of the process. So that's step 2. That's what we call the value bridge, all right? So the step 1 was the discovery engine, that's YouTube. And step 2 is the value bridge, and that's your Skool community. And in my respect, it's called the Content Lab. And if anybody's interested in joining the community, this is my call to action, by the way. If you're interested in joining my community, I will leave a link in the description. It's probably going to be after this goes out, actually, because I haven't put the actual link in the description yet. But this is basically what I do, and I do this every day. And now I'm a full-time content creator now, just by basically doing these 2 things, making YouTube videos and actually nurturing people in my Skool community. I also have another community, because what happened was this community here, let me just go back to the About page. This community is actually showing over 40s. Okay, so this is my niche, by the way. I was teaching over 40s how to actually build an income online via YouTube, using their YouTube channels. That's kind of what was happening. But what I found, the questions I was getting and the messages I was getting from my my members was, okay, now I've done that, what do I do next? I've started my YouTube channel. Do I sell them a digital product, like $7? Do I send them to a landing page to collect a name and email? Do I send them to Gumtree? There's loads of different places. Do I send them to eBay? Am I going to become an affiliate marketer? There's a lot of ways you can do this, okay? And the reason why I set a second community, this is my second one now, is because I was getting so many questions, people asking me. Now I've set my YouTube channel, what do I do? What's next? I'm making these videos. I'm trying to bring people into my community. What can I do next? So I set up a second community, and this was on the whim, by the way. It was a conversation I had with my wife, and she said, look, Des, if you want to do it. And we made a decision. We talked about it one day, it was up the next day. And that's how quickly you can actually join and start your own community as well. And again, I'll leave a link in the description if you want to try and do the same as what I'm doing. Some of you may have heard of Skool, some of you may not have heard of Skool. But if I'm telling you now, if you want to start a Skool community, it costs $9 for a 14-day trial. Free trial, but that is, by the way, and you can try it out for yourself. And if it's not for you, you just cancel it. It's quite easy. But this is what and this community here, I set it up within 2 minutes, 3 minutes. I actually as well. Let me tell you a story. I set this up in the morning. I wrote out what you see here. I wrote out the actual description of the page of the community. I don't even think there was a graphic on here. There was nothing here. You see this, it says turn your community into 1 to 5K. That wasn't even there. This wasn't even here. And I won't say the lady's name, but she purchased, okay? She joined, I say she purchased, she joined the community. And I think at the time it was about $5 because I was just setting things up. I was just testing things out. I didn't kind of half know what I was doing. I never had a paid community before. We set it at $5 and I wasn't expecting anything for like weeks. And the crazy thing is the next day, a lady, I'm not gonna say her name, and she's still in the community, by the way, she actually joined the community and she is still paying the same amount, okay? Generally what happens is whatever price you set at the time when somebody joins, they are actually, well, it's a weird phrase, but they're grandfathered in at that price, all right? So no matter how much you raise that price, okay, that person with whatever rate that they came in will always pay that rate. And this is what's beautiful about Skool. Anyway, I'll digress again. That's kind of what I did. I set up a second community. So not only have I got the Content Revenue Lab, I also have a second community. And I've got 2 YouTube channels and they're both feeding new viewers and new members into those Skool communities, okay? So what can you do then? So yeah, at the moment, I started at $5 a month. Now it's $99 a month. If somebody joins that community now, this one here, the Skool monetization, is now $99 a month, okay? So that's what if somebody joins now, that's a recurring, unless they leave, that's what they will be paying for the time they're actually in the community and me teaching them how to actually build their own Skool, okay? So what can you deliver in your Skool? You can deliver paid courses. You can do one-to-one consulting, or you can give recurring community support for free within the actual community thread. That's how powerful these communities are. So this is step 3, the monetization engine. There are other ways, but for this live stream, I don't really want to get into them. I just want to show you the basics of how to get started, what I did, and now how I'm now able to be a full-time content creator. So the math of freedom, why you only need 50 people. This is kind of half right. YouTube AdSense only, basically what you're saying is you need a lot of views to earn $5,000 a month. You need a lot of views. And for most of us, this is just not an option. It's not an option. Unless you're sound like a gaming channel or you're, I don't know, you do little skits that are quite funny and you get a lot of response. Not many, I'd say it's a very small percentage of people actually manage to do this and maintain this full time, okay? To get that amount of views and to actually earn that amount of money from AdSense is nigh on impossible for most of us, all right? So it's not an option. But when you combine YouTube with Skool, now we're talking. Now there's some possibilities happening here because we're now using the power of the YouTube platform to drive our viewers to join our free community, and then we can monetize that community on the back end. And that's kind of how it all works. And that's how I earn my living as a full-time content creator. I basically teach people my knowledge and they pay if they want to pay. If they don't want to pay, I still continue to deliver the free value in the community. And that's how it is. And that's why it works so well. It's got on here high ticket recurring revenue. It doesn't need to be high ticket, by the way. And when I say high ticket, we're talking 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, 4,000. That's 10,000. That's what we call high ticket. It doesn't need to be, but what you can do is have low ticket ad revenue as well. Low ticket, high ticket recurring revenue, and you can also have low ticket recurring revenue as well. This is basically just comparing it to low ticket ad revenue that you get from your YouTube channel. And it's giving that as an example, but it doesn't need to be $99. It's just comparing it to what you would need to do in comparison to what you would do on YouTube. But most content creators on Skool that have their own Skool communities, it's not actually $99. It's probably a little bit less than that, sometimes $79, sometimes $49, sometimes even $29. It doesn't really matter. This is just giving you an example of what can be achieved if you want to compare it to YouTube. This is possible, by the way. This is not impossible, okay? A lot of members now are actually achieving this. It's not impossible. This, on the other hand, that's damn hard to do, okay? It's not realistic, and there's very few people that are actually doing it. So we go back to what I was saying right at the very beginning of this live stream. It's got low overhead and high leverage, okay? Low overhead and high leverage. So we're talking marketing on YouTube. Believe it or not, back in the day when I first started actually in business, you had to actually spend a lot of money on equipment, a lot of money on rent and rates. If you started growing your business, you had employees. With YouTube, you can start from nothing. YouTube is not charging me to actually publish my videos on there. YouTube is not charging me to reach a worldwide audience, okay? It's not just my own little town. It's not my own little town that I'm actually making videos for. We're making videos for the whole world. And this is why it's so powerful, because you're not just going for one little corner of Earth, you're going for the whole world when you actually make these videos, all right? Product hosting. Normally, what you normally do is you'd either have a website and then you'd host your digital products on something like a Gumroad. You'd host it on somewhere like that, and yeah, it costs money to actually do that, but there's no community behind that. Whereas with Skool, you can host all of your digital products on Skool, okay? This community here, this Content Revenue Lab, going to the actual community, going to my classroom here, this is where all the products I sell, okay? This is where they are all held, and I only pay if you start on the hobby plan, you can start with $9 a month, okay? This is where I'd recommend you start. That's not where I'm at now with this, but if you start, you can only, the lowest you can only pay is $9 a month, okay? That's how cheap you can get started, and you can host all of your digital products on there as well, so it's fantastic. Also, I operate this with my wife, but you can operate this as a solopreneur, okay? Not a word I love, but that's a word, solopreneur. You can operate this as an entrepreneur on your own. You do not need staff. It's open all day, 24/7, 365 days of the year. It doesn't close. People come on, people are in Australia, people are in Africa, people are in the US, people in most parts of Europe. They come into my community at different times of the day. It's always open. It's not like a store that, you open at 8 o'clock and you close at 5 and, if somebody wants something, they can't purchase something because the store's closed. No. These communities are fantastic. And that's why I've chosen Skool as a platform. And again, if you want to start your own Skool, I'm going to leave. If you're watching this live, after I've finished this live stream, I'm going to put a link in the actual description if you want to start your own Skool. And if you're watching the replay of this live stream, then the link will be there as well. All right. But it's a 14-day free trial. It's the very, very little risk. If you want to do the same as what I'm doing, this is the way. This is the blueprint, basically. So the tools to build a business usually cost thousands. This stack costs the price of a streaming subscription. And when I say streaming subscription, we're talking the likes of Netflix or Disney. Even though they're going up, that is kind of the price. So if you want to start a business today, you've had a hard January and nobody wants to go back to work after the Christmas and the New Year celebrations, you kind of come back to the January blues and you think, oh, geez, I've got to go back to work. If that's how you're feeling and you just want to do something for yourself, you want to become your own boss. I know this is not sounding like it is kind of sounding like a bit of an advert. It's not really. I'm just explaining what I've done, and it's not difficult to do if you put in the hard work and you're dedicated to what it is you're actually trying to teach people. As long as you're willing to do that, it is possible. And I'm showing my members it is possible because I did it. I went full-time, I said September, October. I think I went full-time back in October, November time, actually. So for a very long time, I was just doing this without actually making any money at all. It was rough. But you can actually start this part-time. You can start making videos part-time. You can have a Skool community part-time and just grow on the side alongside your job, okay? I didn't do that. I quit my job in June and I went all in, which is what I don't recommend that you do, by the way, but that's what I did. I gave my full commitment. I gave myself 6 months. If it didn't work, I'll just find another job, okay? Thankfully, it did work out and everything's cool, but it might not have worked out. So I don't recommend just quitting and leaving a job like I did. I would recommend doing this on the side. To be fair, it's probably going to take you a little bit longer because it takes time to learn how to make the YouTube videos. It takes time to learn how the Skool community works. It takes time to build the community as well. But I haven't seen an opportunity like this for years. And I was in property before, and that was great when I was in property. But since the property days, since the boom days of property, I have not seen another opportunity as good as this, as good as Skool. This thing here is going to be, it's amazing, and it's going to be even more amazing in 2026. Hence the reason why I'm making this video, because I want whoever wants to run their own business and they don't have much money, okay? They want to start cheap and start building things slowly. What I'm showing you here, the YouTube to Skool playbook, is what I'd recommend doing now. And if I was speaking to my younger self, that is what I'd recommend Des do. Des in his 20s, I'd be getting on this straight away. Anyway, I've said enough on that. So results vary, income examples are illustrative only, and success depends on niche and effort. So that's my little disclaimer there, okay? I'm saying that everything's great, but it worked for me, it might not work for you, okay? But I'll tell you what, the only thing you've got to test, if you want to spend some money, is $9. And also the first 14 days, the first 2 weeks of the trial are free. So you don't even pay $9. It's free for the first 2 weeks. So if you want to try this out, I'll link it in the description, okay? So who's this blueprint for? Some of you already have communities, and you might want to be, well, you're currently making $0 to $500 and you want to scale. That's who this blueprint for, and that's kind of what I teach in my communities, both the Content Revenue Lab and the Skool Monetization Lab. That is what I teach. And basically what it is, it's time versus scalability. So a lot of times you might be a content creator, but you don't know anything about Skool. You're trying to make YouTube videos and you're sending them off to a course, or you're sending them off to try and sell an affiliate product, for example, but not knowing much about Skool. Basically, if you're an exhausted expert out there and you're a coach or you're a consultant and you're tired of trading time for money, this is one of the best opportunities I've seen. So I really do think you should look into it. So yeah, you basically monetize your audience. So you're bringing people in from YouTube. Again, it's using the word true fans. I wouldn't say true fans. It's basically viewers that kind of vibe with you and resonate with you. As long as you educate them, you nurture them, they will purchase, okay? Because they're going to want more of your time. Not everybody wants to do this solo. Not everybody wants to do this as a DIY thing. Sometimes you just need that extra help. And as creators, especially have Skool communities, we can give that extra help if you need it. And the goal is, how do I monetize this? That's the question a lot of people ask. You can do that for YouTube and Skool, okay? There's a theme here, YouTube to Skool, YouTube to Skool, okay? Right, okay, so again, this is just confirming exactly what I did. So I basically, on phase 1, I replaced my income and I went with the membership model, okay? That's what a community is, it's a membership. And that's my build with the Content Revenue Lab. I'll go back to the About page here. This is a membership. These 500 members come into the community and they get really great content from me. That's what I give them. Okay, it's a community. We have a laugh, we have a joke. I teach things. People sometimes members also teach me as well. It's a lot of fun, and we have a laugh. It's really fun. What else are we got to say? So yeah, on high-end consulting, basically, if you want to, you can in your community offer consulting. In my eyes, that's actually the fastest way to do this, is actually consulting. All right, that's pretty much what I would do if I started the community and I was driving traffic in here first. That's probably the first thing I would set up, is a consulting kind of classroom where somebody can actually purchase from you and actually buy more of your time. That's in my opinion, that's the fastest route. Some people don't agree with me, and that's totally fine. But that's how I found it with me, and the people that I consult with, that's the fastest way they've actually made money as well. So I'm quite happy with that model. And then you've got phase 3, which is scaling to digital courses and automated systems. All right. Now that sounds a little complicated. Again, it's the same sort of thing again. If we go back into my community, you can go to the classroom here. That's where all the digital products are sold. Okay. Now, most of the time, your members don't even know this exists. So you have to keep reminding them, all right? But that is where all the digital products are sold, okay? And again, I don't know if you know anything about digital products, but the actual return on a digital product is pretty damn high, because the thing is, you're not got a big warehouse of stock. It is held on a server somewhere, and it's zeros and ones. And when people download it, you're not like getting rid of stock at all. It's always going to be there, but the actual profit margins are extremely high on digital products. Hence the reason why this is really possible to do if you want to be a creator. And I think that's it. So yeah, at the very end of this presentation, what I'm saying is this presentation is not just theory. It's live documentation of what's possible right now. This is what I'm doing. I am living this now. When I get up in the morning, the very first thing I do is I come to my Skool community and I start engaging with my members. I post content in here. They like, as you can see, they comment on here. And if they've got any questions, as you can see, there's a little notification bar here or a message here. They will message me, asking me questions, and I'm more than happy to answer them. All right. So at the moment, I can see there's a bit of chat in the chat. Let's have a look to see. Okay. I don't know if I can even show this on. Can I show this? Let's have a look. Okay, so Ken has basically said, can I pull this out? Okay, show on stream. Let's test this out, guys. It's the first time I've done this before. Show on stream. Okay, yeah, so Ken is saying congrats, Australia. Okay, I'm not too sure what that means, Ken. Are you saying that congrats that people are in Australia and actually get into the community? Is that what you're saying? We've got Sharon as well. Let's have a look. She's basically saying, yeah, haha, thanks, Ken. So yeah, that must be a private joke between them two. And Carol, Carol is on the call. She says Des is a genius at this. Okay, thank you. I'm not too sure I am a genius at it, but it's working for me so far, so I can't complain. And then we've got Sharon that's been on the stream. I don't know what that means, but that means Caroline gets a cameo post. Okay, so yeah, okay. Anyway, thank you so much. This is my first adventure in live streaming on my channel in multiple platforms. We're going to see how it works. It might not work. It seemed to work so far. So hopefully it's live streamed to YouTube. Hopefully it's live streamed to X and also LinkedIn as well. So I'm not going to know until I press stop and have a look. But thank you so much. I don't think anyone else has any questions at all. Thank you so much for the comments. If you're still here, thank you so much for watching. And yeah, I shall see you in the next live stream.